So what we've looked at so far is the fact that most of us are already scientists because of the way we think. And I think that's one of the key things, is to realise that science isn't actually about a whole lot of knowledge. It is a little bit. Like anything, there's some knowledge you need. But science is actually about a way of thinking. And we call this way of thinking the nature of science. And we had some really good words used before. Words like predict, or making predictions. We had words like experiment or trial, so trying things out. So we came up with these things that we actually do in our everyday lives. So we are actually scientists already. We just need to be really good scientists. That's our goal. And to do that, we need to understand something called the nature of science. And you'll hear this word used a bit this year, probably. And the nature of science basically comes down to a few things. Science is a little bit like a foreign language. It's got a whole lot of special language and text. So it has some language you need to use. Words like prediction and experiment. What language, not languages? It's got some really funny symbols. So like maths, it's got some funny little symbols, like a divided by sign and things like that. But our symbols look a bit different. So our symbols are things like this. We've got a triangle. This is actually a Greek letter delta. We've got symbols like this, which is called a nuclide. And don't worry, you don't have to know them all this year, but these are the sort of things you're going to be exposed to. Just like maths, we've also got things like sigma, which is a funny looking E, and all sorts of other symbols like that. We use arrows instead of equal signs. Maths use equals, we use arrows to write things called equations. This is all to do with the language and the symbols of science. It's probably, in all honesty, the boring part of science. You just have to learn it. The other stuff is really cool, because it's about a way of thinking. Science, apart from those bits, really isn't about knowledge. It's not about content. It's about finding knowledge and using knowledge to solve problems. So basically, to put this another way, the nature of science is about a thing called problem solving. That's really what it boils down to. And that's what we're going to try and do today, is to solve problems. And by solving problems, we make new discoveries. I think someone mentioned that they make new discoveries by exploring, which is a great thing to say. We find better ways to do things, so new ways to do things. And actually, sadly, what we do is we sometimes find even more problems. By trying to solve a problem, we sometimes find even more problems. And we go back in a circle. So, scientists have a special way of doing things called the scientific method. And you're about to do a task, now that'll be finished for homework, on a thing called the scientific method. So that's our big thing. But the big thing I want to get to you now is that science is not about how much do you know, it's how well do you think, how well do you solve problems, and that you use every day. Yes?
Joy, would you like to explain some stuff again?
You certainly do. Very shortly we start on experiments, but we just want to go through this stuff first. Good question.